The trouble with loyalty to a cause is that the cause will always betray you.
So, just to, tell you some channel things that are going on. I figured out where all of the fucking new people came from. The fucking Carmelo Anthony video I did over the week, or last week that I posted over the weekend. That thing has got like over 1,200 fucking views. I'm so annoyed. I'm like, whatever, there it is, there's that. It actually surpassed the Tim video, the last one I got over 1,000 views on, and I was like, fuck. It actually surpassed the Tim video. However, I will say this. The people who decided to jump in the comments to bitch at me from the Tim video were a lot more interesting than the people who decided to jump in the comments to bitch at me from the Carmelo Anthony video. So we'll take that for what it is. Let's just say there was a lot more worthless fucking commenters on the Carmelo Anthony video. But anyways, moving on. But I think it's slowed down now. I think we're out of the woods. It's been almost a fucking week, and the video's gotten over 1,000 views, so I know YouTube has throttled it. I think that's kind of my threshold now. If a video ever gets like 2,000 views, that hit fucking hard. That's like 10,000 views. You know what I'm saying? So it usually they hit 1,000 views and then they peter off and fucking die immediately. So, the old standard is still in effect. We're good. We're good. Didn't pick up any subs from it. We're good. Only got 2 from the Tim video, so we're good. We're good. We want to keep our net very small. We don't want to catch any ugly fish. We're tired of ugly fish. That's why it's so awesome that I quit for like 3-4 years and all the ugly fish swam away. It was awesome. All the beautiful, lovely fish stayed around. And we'll see if those 2 people stick around, but anyways, so yeah, there's that. What was the other thing I wanted to say? I don't remember. Doesn't even matter. It wasn't anything important. So what do we want to talk about today? Oh yeah, I'm keeping notes. So everybody knows that in 2020, during the election, Joe Biden was not with it, right? Everybody could see it coming. Everybody knew. Everybody's like, dude, halfway through his presidency, he's gonna be fucking. He's gonna be fucked. And I said it. Everybody said it. I said, why would you vote for this man? He's gonna be out. Like, the whole thing is just to get Kamala to be the president. Like, what the fuck? Everybody said it. Everybody, man, it was a fucking thing. And everybody in the media on the left said, that's crazy. The person you should really be looking at that's losing their mind is Donald Trump. And it's like, why is he losing his mind? Because he disagrees with me. Oh, okay, I understand. Because obviously anybody that disagrees with you is just crazy. Okay. And they just played it out. They just played it off. They put Biden in a basement for the whole fucking election. Basement Biden. That was a whole thing. Everybody remember that? Everybody remember Basement Biden? He didn't do any fucking press. He didn't do any fucking interviews. He didn't do shit. He just sat around and just coasted, right? And then he became president. And the shit show started. And he's shaking hands with nobody. He's getting lost on where to fucking go. He's tripping upstairs. He's doing all manners of and nobody can understand him half the time. He's worse than I am as far as losing his train of thought. And as we all know, I'm so drunk right now, that like, dude, he was fucking gone. And what did they say? I can't believe you're making fun of this man's stutter. And I went, What? That's not a stutter. This is a stutter. That's a stammer. Like I'm losing a stammer. His head was full of pudding, and for 3.5 years, they told us that's not pudding. That's brain matter. It's fine. It hasn't even turned tapioca yet. It's not pudding. And I called him Pudding Head President. In 2020, I was calling him Pudding Head Biden. In fucking 2021, before I fucking jumped the ship, I called him Pudding Head President. And somehow we get around all the way up to the debate. And either they shot him up with so much shit that it all kind of negated itself and it was just pure Biden, or they just decided not to shoot him up with the fucking random yelling, screaming shit. Just let him be a kind of nice, mellow. Like, you don't want him to get amped up on stage with Trump because Trump will just eviscerate him. Like, we got to keep him kind of, even, not amped. Whatever it was they tried to do, the meds were off, man. And he was just fucking gone. Like, fucking gone. And, oh my God, it showed so bad. And for like 3 weeks, he's like, nope, I'm still in this bitch. I ain't leaving, motherfucker. And everybody was like, we gotta get you the fuck out of here. And everybody on the right was going, I told you for years. The debate didn't go well. The 3 weeks of no, really, I'm with it didn't pass. George Clooney was like, dude's gotta go. And I mean, if there's anybody that truly is got his finger on the zeitgeist, who's really making things happen, who's really changing the fucking course of life in America, it's George fucking Clooney. He hasn't made a good movie since Ocean's 35. Like, wasn't that the last good movie he made? Like, fuck me, dude. Like, dude. So, Biden graciously and heroically fucking drops out because Nancy Pelosi says you either leave or we will take you out. Like, that was a fucking thing. And Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer were like, bitch, you out. And he was like, but, and they were like, no, look at the shiny thing. And he went, oh, and then it was done. And so he dropped out. And they said, well, what are we going to do? Fucking Kamala. She's the VP. That pretty much makes her the incumbent. Like, essentially, they said, what we're going to do is, we're going to low-key acknowledge that he's no longer the president. But we're going to pretend like he's still the president. We're going to auto-pen everything he fucking does. And Kamala Harris is just kind of effectively going to be the president because Biden's out. But we're still just calling her the VP. And we're just going to pretend that we don't do primaries anymore. So, Biden's out. Kamala's in. And still, if I wind up like leaving that in, I'm sorry. I usually cut that out, but I might forget that I need to cut things out of this one. So Biden's out. Harris is in. 9 minutes. All right, we'll try to remember that. Biden's out. Harris is in. And Harris fucking sucks. They desperately tried the we're going to put you in a basement and you're just not going to talk to anybody. Because, like, see, the problem is, sweetie, we picked you because of the color of your vagina. If you didn't have a vagina or that vagina wasn't black, you wouldn't be here. So, unfortunately, you're retarded. We can't have you talk to people. We can't have you out there laughing. at weird, inappropriate times because you just have no idea what to say. We can't have you going out there telling fucking tall tales and your stories of your history that's not actually your history, it's somebody else's history. Like, we can't have you doing this shit. You are a walking fucking disaster. So we're going to put you in the basement. We're going to put you in Biden's basement. And you're just going to smoothly coast, right? And immediately, that didn't work. They did it for months. Immediately, that didn't work, right? So now it was, all right, they opened up the hatch. All right, bitch, get up here. And here she comes walking up, you know, and she's like, I get to go out there and make an ass of myself? And they're like, yeah, go ahead. And they unleashed her onto the world. And it was pitiful, and it was sad, and it was predicted, again, by people like me and everybody else that had a fucking brain with which to think. And during the course of all of the actual interviews, people kept asking her, so what the fuck is up with your boss, man? Like, is he fucked? Like, has he gone loopy? Should he be put in a home? Like, and she said, no, he's great. He's sharp as a fucking bowling pin, man. Like, you can't, or a pin. Yeah, he's sharp as a tack. Like, you can't fuck with him. He's running circles around. He's in there running circles around the 20-some-year-olds, which just tells you that all the 20-some-year-olds that they hired are literally retarded. Like they're literally beyond retarded. They have a learning disability. Like, we are getting out of the hyperbole stage and going, no, that's actually an issue. Like, because, you know what I mean? Like, I have an infinite amount of patience. I have no fucking tolerance. This is my problem. So, like, if you say something that's retarded, and I say to you, look, alright, I need to ask you a serious question. Are you retarded, or do you have a learning disability? Because if you're just retarded, I have no tolerance for you. But if you have a learning disability, I have infinite patience for you, man. I will take my time, because that's what you need. That's it. That's all you need. A little bit extra effort. I have effort in abundance. I waste so much of my effort on everything else that I do. I can take time for you, man. I stock up effort just in case I ever need it. So, if I have to ask you that question, that means that whatever you just said or did, you should really, like, reconsider your life if you planned it out to be that way ahead of time, right? And where even was I? Where was I even going with that? I went fucking far enough off, I don't remember where I was going. So, she's saying no, he's with it. And, I was making fun of the 26th. Whatever, that bit's done. So, she's saying he's with it. Everybody's saying he's with it. Fucking Morning Java's out there fucking saying he's with it. We're having a good old cup of Joe stupidity. And Mika's out there going, oh, I talked to him, gave him a blowjob and everything. He took it just like a fucking person and he did. Yeah, it was great. And all this fucking shit, right? Donald Trump wins. Oh my God, another shot around the world. Donald Trump knocks out another lady. 2-0 against the girls. Which really just kind of shows something. Even the Democrats would rather vote for a decrepit old man that's gone than a woman. Anyways, so Donald Trump wins, right? And when Donald Trump wins, it's kind of almost like the embargo's lifted. Like, everybody can kind of talk again. It's like Twitter. You couldn't fucking say shit all the way up until Elon buys it, and then all of a sudden, you can say shit. Like, you can kind of say, as long as it's not too fucking stupid, you can say pretty much whatever you want. And whatever. And everybody talks about stuff. And everybody's learning different random things from all sorts of different sides. And people that are in the middle are kind of like, oh, that's weird and interesting. And they're checking things out. People are learning. We're educating the world. It's fucking amazing. And everybody starts to really question, well, wait a minute. Because I'm looking at video now that people are posting from like 2016. And I'm like, he's fucked up. I'm looking at videos people are posting that are from, during the debates of the fucking primary of the 2020 election. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what, my mind is being refreshed of all the things that I already saw that I filtered out because it doesn't fit what I want it to fit. And now I'm confused. And Jake fucking Tapper, 15 minutes to set this up with backstory. Jake fucking Tapper. One of the most useless propagandists to ever exist. Next to Don Lemon and fucking Rachel Maddow, I put Jake Tapper. Jake Tapper sucks. Like, Don Lemon is hysterical. And Rachel Maddow is sad. Like, Rachel Maddow, I think, is just sad. Like, I look at her kind of like Kanye. She's a little bit fucking detached. I just don't really think that she should be on TV. I think she should be somewhere talking to somebody and taking a certain prescribed level of medication. And maybe not doing a job wherein she's supposed to be disseminating the news. Like, maybe I'm crazy, but that's just my thought. And so, Jake fucking Tapper. Jake Tapper is just a spineless, principleless piece of shit. Like, he doesn't have any principles. He has no morals. He has no ethics. And he doesn't fucking care. As long as he's making money, the blood flows. Who gives a shit, man? Like, whatever. But Jake Tapper writes a book. I kid you not. Jake Tapper writes a book about Joe Biden's decline. The whole subject of it. What was happening? What was actually going on with the journalists in the newsroom? What were they being told? What were they seeing? What were they not allowed to look at? What were they sequestered from? What were they just fucking ignoring? It answers all questions. Jake Tapper has the book about Joe Biden, just how fucked up he was. And he's putting it out with some other dude. I would like to take a brief intermission. So, around 1995, I think it was, 95, 96, we all kind of get the news that there is a white Bronco racing down the interstate with cops chasing it. And it is a Bronco that belongs to, I don't remember his name, but the passenger of the Bronco is one O.J. Simpson. O.J. Simpson is in a Bronco racing down the expressway. Cops chase him like crazy. And they're like making a deal on a cell phone. Just pull over. We can talk about this. Just pull over, man. And finally, they take O.J. into custody. What for? The murder of one O.J.'s wife. Brown Simpson. What was her first name? I can't remember her first name. Brown Simpson. His wife. Mrs. Brown Simpson. She was found dead with her boyfriend. And throat slit so deep that they were like, one more little pull and it would have gone right fucking through. It was almost decapitated. And everybody is like, fucking wow. A football legend, a comedic actor, accused of such heinous crimes. And he's running. that doesn't look good. And there's this huge trial. Fucking massive. We're watching O.J. Simpson trial at school. I kid you not. I was at school in the Larry Lambright. I was in the coach, the gym teacher, Larry Lambright, Mr. Lambright. I was in his office, sitting there with him and like 2 or 3 other guys, and we are watching them read the fucking verdict of the O.J. Simpson trial. It was everywhere. It was pop culture. Before we had feminism running wild and the transgender shit, all the crazy ass shit that's going on, Trump derangements, and before we had all this crazy shit, we had O.J. Simpson trial. And we watched every second of it. Court TV became a thing because of O.J. Simpson. Like, it was massive. And he got off innocent. He got off. I don't believe he was declared innocent, but, like, is not guilty. And then he got I think he got crushed in the civil case. He wound up then, like, going to Vegas to some pawn shop, and he, like, robbed the pawn shop of, like, all of his stuff that he must have pawned there or something like that. Still wound up going to jail anyways. But around between that, he wrote a book. Craziest thing in the world. He wrote a book titled If I Did It. And oh my god, the Photoshop of just... It was the easiest Photoshop joke in the fucking world. All you had to do was just take out that if. And it just said, I did it, O.J. Simpson. Bam. Comedy gold. Right? Everybody fucking memed on this shit before memes were even a fucking thing. Dude, it was the laughing stock. If I Did It. He wrote a book which essentially played out like an insane murder mystery novel. Like, he had some imaginary character, Charlie. Dude, wild shit. And he wrote a book, If I Did It. Craziest fucking thing. And that was immediately what I thought of when I heard that Jake Tapper was going to write a book about all of the things that he didn't know for 4 fucking years while he was telling us that Joe Biden's with it. And I'm like, honestly, I want to read it. Like, I do not read much, like, nonfiction. Like, I all my shit is fantasy, sword and sorcery, or like cyberpunk, Shadowrun type stuff. All my books are fantasy novels. I have a handful of books that are like biographies. Like, I got a couple of the McFoley books. I got Terry Funk. Terry Funk actually signed my Terry Funk book, and it was really cool because he wrote out like a whole paragraph on the page. It's like, my dad used to wrestle in Ohio, and like, it was fucking awesome. Terry Funk. I got Tales of Economic Hitman. Like, I have very, very few non-fiction books, and I honestly want to get this one because I just want to see how retarded Jake Tapper is, and if he honestly thinks any of this shit is gonna pass. It's an entire book of lies. Like, it's literally a pack of lies. I know at the time. This is all stuff we found out later. And some of the stuff that we found out later, because they're releasing little snippets of things every day leading up to the book being released, because that's how you do it. So some of the snippets that have been released is that one of the reasons why George Clooney wrote his article and demanded that Joe Biden, you know, like, when George fucking Clooney decided to start making Democratic, you know, candidacy policy, he wrote this article. But the big reason why he did it was because apparently George and Joe have been friends for like 15 years, but at one get together, Joe Biden didn't know who the fuck he is. Now, look, if it's me, and Joe Biden's like, oh, who are you again? Well, of course he doesn't know me. It's fucking me. If it's some random person that he's met before. And he's, oh, well, who are you again? Totally understandable. But apparently him and George Clooney have been friends for 15 years. And it's George Clooney. It's George Clooney. He's a fucking actor. He's a big time actor. He was in a shitty Batman movie. He was in a bunch of shitty heist movies. But there was some good movies in there too. He was on ER, I think. Like, dude, it's George fucking Clooney. The guy's been an actor, a major actor for like 30 years. The entirety of the time that Joe Biden's known him. He was on fucking Roseanne. He was Booker. He was Jackie's boyfriend. Everybody knows George Clooney. Except Joe Biden. Because Joe Biden has dementia. Or Alzheimer's. Whatever the fuck Joe Biden Puddinhead. Not to say that people with Alzheimer's dementia are all Puddinheads. I'm just saying that I'm being derisive to Joe Biden. Fuck him. Joe Biden's Puddinhead. All the rest of you just have problems. Joe Biden's Puddinhead. Joe Biden's a fucking cunt. Anyways. And so, alright. So George Clooney, I don't know who the fuck you are. Who are you again? I'm Woody Harrelson. What do you mean? Like, dude. Doesn't know who he is. So, that's the first little snippet that comes out. What was the next one? Oh. The next one was, there was literally serious talks about how are we going to put out Joe Biden if he wins again. How are we going to go about having him in a wheelchair? Because at some point he's going to have to go in a wheelchair. Because he's tripping upstairs and he's not doing good. At some point he's going to have to go into a wheelchair if he gets elected again. In the next 4 years, Joe Biden is going to be in a wheelchair, we assume. So how are we going to deal with that? Like, that's another little snippet bomb that's got thrown out there. And not that that's in any way, like, bad, except for the fact that it was essentially, how are we going to, like, hide that he's in a wheelchair? Can we, well, who was it that was in the wheelchair? All I can think of right now is Rutherford B. Hayes, and it wasn't him. Grant? I don't remember. One of the presidents had, I think, polio or something like that, and he was in a wheelchair. And they, like, hit it. They just... But it was before the internet. It was before everything was fucking filmed. It was before you were expected to be walking off, you know, onto stage, but in front of millions of people. Like, it was when you just got pictures taken of you, really. And so he was always just sitting down, signing things, doing whatever, you know? And they just hit it. But, like, to do that now? Like, how are we going to hide that he's in a wheelchair when we need to put him in a wheelchair? Like, again, it's just more, you know, how can we trick people? Like, that's the fucking thing. And then, last but not least, the newest little snippet is that not only did he not know who fucking George Clooney is, but he didn't know who one of his advisors was. I don't even remember the dude's name off the top of my head. Jake Sullivan, I think. I think he called him Steve. Like, he just came up with a random fucking name. And it's one of his advisors. Like, dude. But, like, I don't understand how this book is supposed to make Jake Tapper look like anything other than an asshole. Like, whenever somebody's gonna write a book, an entire book, about how they're an asshole, dude, I want to read it. You know what I mean? Like, I really want to read it. I really kind of want to read this book. Because he's gonna put out a book about what a piece of shit he is. He's supposed to be a journalist. He works on the news. He's like a fucking anchor. Yeah, didn't he moderate a fucking presidential debate? Like, isn't it his fucking job to tell us this shit when he finds out? And isn't it his fucking job to find this shit out? I don't know, less than 100 days into the next fucking president's, like... So yeah, Jake Tapper wrote a book, and the title of the book is "If I Did It."